Jake, how are you?
Hi, Hugh. I'm okay. How are you?
I'm terrific. Jake, I wrote a column for the Post. It's in the paper today, and it appeared on Saturday, urging Republicans to vote for Neera Tanden, the president's nominee for OMB, even though I've got more Neera Tanden scars than all the villains in Zorro combined. And that's simply because, and I know Susan Collins has come out this morning and said she's not going to vote for him and that Joe Manchin isn't. And I've been in conversation with my pals in the Senate trying to persuade them this would be a good moment for amnesty. Rick Grinnell got through. I just don't want people kept out of jobs because of their Twitter feeds. Any hope for her?
No, zero hope, Hugh. There's zero hope because, and also, like, you know this because you've been around this for a long time, but forget Twitter. I mean, these were very personal attacks that she made on people. And I'm not taking a side here. I'm just telling you how these people think, and you know how they think because you're talking to them too. But the larger issue with Tanden is it's not only the right, Hugh, it's also the left. I mean, Bernie Sanders has no love lost for her. The left has no love lost for her. They think that she's a centrist, and they don't like that. They think that the Center for American Progress took oodles of dollars in corporate funding, which they did, and listen. And the White House says, listen. At the end of the day, I'll say this to you: they're going to get Neera Tanden into this administration. It just might not be into a confirmed job.
Well, now this is what my hope would be. I know Joe Manchin came out and Susan Collins, they represent the center point of the Senate, right? The most moderate Republican, the most moderate Democrat. If they got together along with a conservative and a leftist, and the four of them came out and said, okay, here's the deal. Ollie, Ollie, and free amnesty. People have got to knock this stuff off on Twitter. We're going to give amnesty to Neera because she's quality. I mean, everyone agrees she's really smart. We're going to give her
there's
the
no
pass.
Question. That's the thing, Hugh. There's no question about her qualifications. That's the irony here, right? I mean, everybody agrees. Even if you're not ideologically aligned with her in any way, shape, or form, but she's a very smart person.
Yes, and I've dueled with her and lost, and dueled with her and won, and mostly lost because she's that smart. And she's funny, but she's a Twitter user. So maybe it's a moment to say, we are not going to encourage people to go down this path in the future, but notice how close she came to going over the cliff, and be warned now. Now, it's sort of like February 22nd, 2021 is the date where you people, now your tweets are not going to be erased. We're not going to accept that because Susan Collins came out and noted that she had erased 1,000 tweets the day before her hearing. Of course she did. Nobody, I mean, when you are a Twitter addict, Jake, how many of you got up there? I don't know how many I have. Luckily, I never want to be confirmed to anything. I've been confirmed once. I'm already the Honorable Hugh Hewitt. My aspiration is to become the Consul General of Bermuda or the Lieutenant Governor of California. Neither job has much to do. Those are my goals, and neither requires Senate confirmation. So you don't think there's any way that the upside here of amnesty would appeal to people?
No, I just don't think, and I don't think that people think like that because I think that lawmakers never want to take something off the table, so to speak. And I would say, on the other hand, I mean, who is let's drop your scenario for 1 second for argument's sake. Who is the Republican who's going to vote for her if it's not Collins? Is it Mitt Romney? I don't think so. I mean, she's been pretty sharp on Romney. Maybe he crosses. I really don't think so. The incentive is just not there for a Republican to save Tanden at this point. I mean, I guess I could be wrong here, and I'm not reading the room right. But, I mean, I just don't think.
Who's the most decent? Who's the, I would say Susan Collins and Tom Cotton are both the most decent. They both said no. But who is like them? Who has a reputation for utter decency? Good.
Murkowski, I guess. Murkowski could be somebody who would do it.
That's liberal. That's liberal. I'm talking about utterly decent, good person.
I think Murkowski is a good person. I don't know.
I'm not saying no. I'm just saying the person. I would say Jim Lankford. I would say Jim Lankford is everybody's favorite guy. You might get Lankford willing to walk out there with John Thune. I think John Cornyn is a great guy. Of course, Governor Romney, I've always admired. I mean, there are people, but they'd have to go get Joe Manchin. They can't cut Joe Manchin off, right? If you're the Republicans, you can't leave him out there on the limb. You'd really need the Senate.
And I just think the statements that they've put out, Hugh, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but the statements that that Manchin has put out leaves him literally no wiggle room. I mean, anyone can walk anything back, right? I mean, we've seen that a million times. But these statements are pretty firm in their tone and in their substance. So
it would take a gang of 8. It would take a group of senators to come together and say, okay.
And Hugh, we're not talking about OMB is a very important role. There's literally no doubt about it. I think the Office of Management and Budget is the largest office within the executive office of the president. And especially in this administration where we have a raging pandemic or I guess now a pandemic that's slowing down a little bit, but, money's going to need to be spent. Biden has made that clear that that's his priority. So it's going to be very important. But Tanden, in a lot of people's view, is just not the only person who could do the job. I mean, would Gene Sperling face any Republican resistance? I don't think so. I'm going to blank on her name. I've known her for a million years. I'm going to blank on her name right now. But Neera's deputy, who's not confirmed, Shalonda Young, I think is her name, who has been in House Appropriations staff director for many years, who has universal respect. I mean, would probably even get Mitch McConnell's vote because his staff has worked with her for many, many, many years. She's somebody who's named, and when I was at Politico, we named her as somebody who could get the post. So those are the kinds of, Biden has options here.
Yeah, well, that's not the issue, though, Jake. So that you understand, my point of view is not about Neera. It's about the standard changing to mean tweets. Mean tweets. I mean, I worked hard to get Rick Grinnell confirmed 4 years ago over mean tweets, and because I've always made the same argument consistently. Twitter, social media, we're going to have to evolve. I've never done profanity or vulgarity, and I don't believe in sharp elbows very often. But look, everyone your age and younger, your generation is just sheep-dipped in mean tweets. If it becomes the standard, my gosh, no one's going to get confirmed in the town in 10 years.
Yeah, and I would say, Grinnell is a great example. He has gone after probably everybody on both sides of the aisle. And a lot of liberals are noting today and last night that Mitt Romney voted for Rick Grinnell. Sorry, not Mitt Romney. Joe Manchin voted for Rick Grinnell. And Joe Manchin is not voting for Neera Tanden for a relatively similar sin, so to speak. And I don't think, Grinnell has gone after me with the fury of 10 hells, so to speak. So I think what he said about me is not nice. And I'm not happy about it, but it's not, I don't hold it against the guy, but, Joe Manchin did vote for him. And so it's just, I think people see hypocrisy here, but you're right. The standard has to be changed. I've said stupid stuff on Twitter. I've removed posts shortly after I've tweeted them and been transparent about it when I've said things that I thought were out of line or inappropriate. Now I have a little bit more leeway because I'm my own boss, but still, now I just think twice before I put anything on social media.
Well, some of my people that I admire the most online have gone offline. John Podhoretz, Chuck Todd, they've just given it up. But I'm going more towards Twitter amnesty and social media amnesty, not provoked by Neera because it's so high profile. And I don't know her, by the way. I want to make clear she's a green room colleague. I've been on sets with her. She is not a friend. I have never had a cup of coffee with her. I don't know. I don't even know if she has kids. I don't know anything about her. She's just
She does. She does have kids and a husband, but that's regardless of the point. I mean, she's just, a lot of people have a lot of respect for her, but anyway, it'll be interesting to see what Biden does here. And she could withdraw, he could withdraw her, but your point is well taken. I will say that.
All right. Last question for you in terms of confirmations going forward. My rules don't apply to judges at all. I think Article 3 is lifetime appointment, but Article 2 appointments, they're for fixed terms, and the president usually gets his team. I think if you did research, this would be the first mean tweets major cabinet post that was turned down. People have been turned down like John Tower for alcohol. People have been turned down for scandal. But it's the first time a major appointment has been turned down because she's been mean to me.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's right. But at the end of the day, this is something I often think about is that people in D.C., and you've been around this game for a long time, it's just John Boehner always used to say this to us, and it's something that I've thought about later in life. It costs nothing to be nice. And John Boehner didn't always live up to those words.
No, that's a funny thing for John Boehner to say. I thought he would have said it costs nothing to play golf. But, that's everyone their own. See, I'm not nice. I'm a talk radio host, but I don't want to be confirmed any, except the Consul General of Bermuda. That is my life ambition. Jake Sherman of Punchbowl.